What's up, my beautiful people? Exile451 here with another daily dose of Reddit Hope and Happy, and today we're going into r/self-improvement to talk about some ways you can improve while you're in lockdown that are really going to change your life. So, let's get to it. Our first post is from user Reinvention Coach. 5 lessons I learned in prison to help you with quarantine. First, everything is temporary. When I was in prison, it felt like I would be there forever. That my permanent state of being was uncertainty and pain. I felt as though I would be worthless for the remainder of my life. Once I looked beyond the fear and anxiety, I understood there was an expiration date. I didn't know when, but I knew there was one. That alone gave me the strength to endure. This is the power of impermanence. Second, our perspective dictates our reality. Is this happening to you? Is this happening for you? One is playing the victim. The other is taking responsibility for your life. The moment I dropped the victim role, which I played for a while, I found freedom inside prison. This is our choice. Third, choice is freedom. I found a copy of Man's Search for Meaning in the prison library. It's one of the most profound perspective-shifting books I have ever read, and I reread it once a year. This quote is one of many reasons I make that claim. Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms. To choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. When we embrace choice, we have agency over our lives. When we have agency over our lives, we can rebuild. We can start over. Fourth, gratitude is a superpower. I was sitting in the prison library with nothing to my name. I lost everything. My amazing wife, my career, my money, my homes, and cars. I lost my identity and my self-worth. And yet, one crisp early morning, the sunrise was spectacular. I put pen to paper and wrote, "I'm grateful for this morning sunrise." I found something to be grateful for in my most challenging time. I cannot express how important that truly is. Finally, adversity can be a gift. Our greatest adversities do not have to be the end. In fact, they can be our greatest teachers and our greatest blessings. The choice is ours. It begins when we embrace the other 4 lessons. Man, how on point is that right now? Don't know what OP was in prison for, but right now we're all basically on lockdown. I mean, some of us more free than others, but pretty much universal quarantines. And all of these are so applicable. It's true, what we're going through right now, while it seems terrible and like it's never going to end, will eventually come to a finish. We're already starting to see peaks hit, and now everything seems to be declining in terms of new cases and everything else. It looks like we're coming out of this, and we just have to hold on a little longer. What happens afterwards is up to us. You know, this has been a real different experience for everyone that's had to go through it. Some people have risen to the occasion, some people have been some of the worst examples of humanity. What we take out of the time that we've spent in quarantine or off of work or doing whatever it's been that we've been forced to do for the last 2 months or so is up to us. But what's also up to us is how we view this. Yeah, it may have sucked, but do we see this as a trial, or was it an opportunity for us? Did we complain and moan and just spread memes around about how quarantine sucks, or did we take the chance to grow, to do something we'd always wanted to try? I could go into so much greater length just applying each of these lessons to the current situation we all find ourselves in now, but I think it's best if I leave it to you guys to draw your own comparisons. These are some profound things to take out of being in prison, though. Like, seriously, what a mindset shift. I am super impressed with this. OP, thank you so much for opening up about this, for sharing your story and what's changed you, and wherever you're at, I really do wish you the best. Oh, and real quick before we jump to the next story, the OP of this one did a TED Talk, and I've got the link for it down in the description. You can check it out if you want. Our next post is from user Aaron Panzarella. But first, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you can get more of your daily dose of Reddit Hope and Happy. Also, go ahead and check out the channel on social media at the Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Patreon links in the description below. taking care of yourself first isn't narcissistic. It's necessary. I forget to take care of myself a lot. I get spread out too thin and worn down. My whole life, I've been all or nothing, and old habits die hard. Real hard. Maybe it's part of feminine energy, tackling everything that you want to do and everything you don't want to do until you're a mess. I see it with almost every female. Maybe it's part of maternal instinct. But I see the pattern now as a sort of martyrdom that I subscribe to. Giving my all to prove that I'm worthy of something. Doing everything myself so it's done the right way. I'm learning more as time goes on that doing everything leads to doing nothing very well. Why? Well, I'm sick. A lot. I get resentful when I'm doing something because I think I have to do it. I get drained when I give my energy to everyone and everything except for myself. It's hard to break the habit, but it's also so necessary. Setting healthy boundaries is key, and during this time when I'm sick, once again, I realize the importance of doing what's good for me, even though it might not be ideal or good for another. Self-care is vital. It's not about being selfish, but about focusing on well-being and self-love. The only way we can be there for other people, fully be there, is if we're there for ourselves, first and foremost. Sometimes that means making hard decisions. Sometimes that means doing what you need instead of what you want. Sometimes that means disappointing others because you didn't do what they wanted or expected of you. That's okay. It's all okay. As long as you do what you need to do for yourself, the rest will fall together, exactly as it should and in really beautiful ways. So to start off real quick, for anyone wondering, no, she's not sick with corona. This is a rather old post that I have sat on for a little bit and only recently remembered about. Apart from that though, man is that true. It is so important to take care of yourself. You know, we do live in a world right now where if you're seen doing anything that might benefit yourself over, say, someone else, it could be considered selfish or shame-worthy or anything else. I'm sure there's plenty of examples of it. I mean, I know I've avoided doing things I wanted or needed to do simply because I didn't want to be called out as being ungrateful or being unwilling to help others. And I've put myself in situations I didn't want to be in because I was trying to help other people. And it can suck. It really just drains you. Sometimes you do need to step back and be like, no, I can't go out with you tonight. No, I can't take this call even when you're this depressed. Yes, I need some time and space to be able to figure my own stuff out. It's just so important, especially right now with everything that's going on, to make sure that you are looking out for yourself. That's not to say that you shouldn't be willing to help others or just be super self-centered or focused, because of course you should be willing to lend a helping hand when you can. But you shouldn't do it at the cost of your own health or mental stability. It's not narcissistic to look after yourself. It's necessary, just like you said. So OP, thank you so much for sharing the post, and wherever you're at right now, I really do wish you the best. Our next post is from user Tooneyman. No one can take this away from you. Imagine you're 80. You just smoked a fat joint, you're kicking back with nothing but your thoughts, your memories, the life you've lived. Ask yourself, what would you like to think about? What would you like to take to the grave, knowing that you've accomplished? Basically, ask yourself what memories are worth getting high for. Would it be all the Tinder girls you've casually had sex with? Or would it be the meaningful relationship you've had with your ex or exes, culminating to finding the love of your life who you're married to for 50 years? Would it be all the nights you drank away your sorrows and misery, attempting to run away from your demons instead of acknowledging their existence and processing those repressed emotions? Or perhaps, would it be your decision to check yourself into rehab at 30 for alcohol addiction before your wife leaves you and your kids don't want to call you their father anymore? Would it be the pursuit of those quick highs, social status, immediate gratification? Or would it be the pursuit of what is meaningful, which, more often than not, requires hours of work inherent in its mastery? Would it be all those that one time you did something stupid and didn't regret it? Or would it be that one time you cheated and lost everything? Would it be all the fond memories with your mom and dad? Or would they all manifest as potentialities, memories that you could have had if you'd cared enough to try? I don't know how I'll feel when I hit 80, but I can be sure as heck that I want to know I've lived a life of authenticity and passion. To have felt raw sadness, to have experienced harrowing losses, to have grieved for lost relationships, to have recovered from a damaged soul. We're just so dang used to being told how to avoid these emotions, how to manage them. But there is little recognition of the need to ride through them and come out stronger on the other side. If you're the type to shy away from any negative emotion, finding mechanisms to suppress them as opposed to actually processing them, I'd like to propose to you that you're perhaps only living 50% of your life. Maybe you're arguably even delusional to think the glass of wine you're having every night to fall asleep is healthy for you. We're all prone to running from what hurts us. But maybe if we find the courage within us to face those fears, those intrusive thoughts and self-deprecation may actually cease. We can't run away forever. It's tiring, and one day, when you're 80 and you have no energy to run away anymore, you're left with nothing but your thoughts. What then? Let's all aim to have thoughts and memories that you're genuinely proud of. Thoughts and memories that aren't a product of any social establishments or expectations. Thoughts and memories that are curated, unique, and catered to that 80-year-old version of you, because at the end of the day, the achievements that you've forged and the knowledge that you've lived a subjectively fruitful life is what matters. No one can take this away from you. You know, I have to admit that's one thing that's always kind of motivated me to try branching out and experiencing different things is if I look back near the end of my life and wonder if it would have been worth putting in the time to try something new, am I going to regret it? And that's one of the things that I've always thought about is I don't want to look back and say, I wish I had tried that. I wish I had seen if it would have worked or not. And now I'll never know. You know, at the end of the day, it's those memories and those attempts to live a fruitful life that really hold us together, that really define our legacy. I think I've talked about this before, but for our first anniversary, my wife and I went out to Puerto Vallarta to celebrate. And by the way, if you ever get the chance to go, highly recommend. We had an absolutely amazing time. But one of the big things that we were kind of going back and forth over while we were there was how much money do we want to spend? And ultimately, I talked her into doing 3 different excursions there despite the overall cost, because what it came down to was, do we want to fly home and tell people all we did for our entire vacation was just lounge around by the pool? Or do we want to come back and say, hey, we ziplined through the rainforest, we swam with dolphins, we snorkeled on a private island, and all these other amazing things that we were able to do? And now, we have all these pictures, all these memories, all these things we're able to talk to our friends about, and next year when we go with friends, we are very much looking forward to making even more. That's what it really does come down to at the end of the day. What have you done in your life to set you apart? What have you done in your life to make it memorable? OP, thank you so much for sharing the post and really just putting the right sort of mindset that we all should have out there. Wherever you're at, I do wish you the best. There's more self-improvement videos in the playlist here on the left side, or if you want to see the video YouTube thought would be best for you, go ahead and click the button on the right. Now, you guys stay safe, stay healthy, stay inside if you're supposed to. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.